So the 2021 motorsport season here in the UK is about to start. So I thought what I'd do, a little bit like what I did last year, is a little bit of a aims video, I guess, just to look back at the end of the year. Obviously I realised last year was a bit, nothing really happened that I said I wanted to happen, but we all know why generally that was. But nonetheless, we can set some more realistic aims for this year. So I think there's a few things that I definitely like to tick off and say, okay, I did that. But let's start off with obviously where we're racing. So the car is designed for the Type R Trophy, the 750 Motor Club. So the aim is going to be to do some racing there. So due to work, I know I'm not going to be able to do all of the rounds, but the plan is to do as many as possible around other racing commitments as well. So it's going to be a busy year, but in terms of 750 Motor Club, racing in their Type R Trophy, where this car is a spec car, I'd like to sort of just be mid-pack. I fully realise some of the guys at the front of the field are actually insanely fast. They won championships in big championships, club level at the UK, so we know they're very quick. So it's a really good benchmark to be in. It looks like there's going to be 35-40 cars entered for the season. How many will turn up to the first few races, I don't know. I'm not going to be doing the first event, I think, at least, but I am looking forward to getting out there in this spec championship, where this car, as I said, is the spec car, and I guess just testing myself against hopefully people at a similar level. I know the people at the front are going to be insanely quick, so I know it's not expecting to be anywhere near them, but in terms of like the mid pack and towards the back of the pack, I definitely feel there's going to be people that I can compete against and just have some good racing with, really. So they've got this sort of higher scheme thing that they've done this year, so hopefully that's going to introduce some novice drivers a similar level to me that I can test myself up against, which is really exciting. Definitely not expecting to be like winning races or podiums or even really top 10, but if I can be mid-pack, I'll be really happy with myself. And I guess that's one of my aims this year, try and be mid-pack and just competitive, have some good racing in Type R Trophy in the events I can do. In terms of other racing, we're obviously planning to do more than just a few events in Type R Trophy. So the CMMCS, which is a club that I technically did my first ever race in, finished my first race in the Saxo. So I've been doing some video work with them pre-season, just trying to help them sort of grow, because they are a really small club that are just trying to get going again after, I guess, sort of closing a few years ago. But very exciting to work with them. We've released a promo video. We had very, very limited footage and pictures and any material, so I'm quite happy with what we managed to get together relatively quickly in time for their first race of the season, which is at Linden Hill at the end of this year, which I'm hoping to be at. So that should be quite nice to me. Linden Hill, I like to think of it as a local track, but it's not really. It's like 2.5 hours away, probably by towing a car. So it's not close at all, but it's a track that I've been to quite a bit as a big fan of like rallycross and club events over the years. They always seem to go to Linden Hill, and it's a great track to watch from. I'm not sure if the spectators are going to be there for this first event, but hopefully they are, and hopefully they can enjoy it. It'll be a great opening start to the season. But yes, CMMCS going to be racing there this year for a couple of events. Not all of them, but some of them. With work, as I said, that's pretty much how this year is going to be. Just do as many events as I can across as many different championships. I realise that's not really the most economical way of doing it as a club racer, because of course each club requires like a membership fee, series entry fee and stuff like that. So it technically wasted money entering loads of different championships and doing only a couple of races in them. But that's what I'm going to have to do this year to fit around work. Now, obviously, as I said, with work being super busy, I want to make sure that it balances out quite well. Obviously, I can't really miss many F1 races because it's my job. That's how I get my income to pay for the racing. So trying to find that balancing act is going to be interesting this year. But in terms of CMMCS, I was talking about aims, wasn't I? Got a bit off topic. But in terms of aims for there, so it's entered into a class which I don't know how many people will be in it, but if we can maybe get like a podium or two in that'd be really cool for me, because I fully expect not to once again be at the front of the pack in class. But as I keep saying, it'd be nice to be competitive and racing against a couple of people. And the good thing about CMMCS for me personally is a lot of the events are at Brands Hatch, or a few of them are at Brands Hatch. Track obviously I love. It doesn't seem like I've been particularly quick in it in a race car so far. The fact that it's close hopefully should mean I could do a few more track days before it and hopefully be a bit more competitive there. So I'm going to go out there and just say like a class podium or two maybe this year would be really awesome. I realise like the competitiveness of a smaller championship like that is not going to be as high in terms of having loads of cars to race against, so getting a podium is obviously easier. But yeah, I'd like to say like a couple of podiums, that'd be really awesome. Okay, anyway, other racing series. So we're going to be lease racing in those two, and also the plan is to race in a series called Track Attack, so another sort of smaller championship. Hopefully going to be helping those guys out as well with some video stuff and just helping them grow their brand, because like with CMMCS, lots of good stuff. It's just obviously over the last year or two it's been a bit tough, so trying to help them bounce back and get back on track sort of thing. So racing there, and hopefully at Combe as well. I really enjoyed racing there at the end of last year. So likewise with what I said about CMMCS, be nice to get a podium or two. Lesser expected in Combe series, just because they've got some insanely quick cars there, so definitely not expecting to be on the podium there. But I think the general topic here is I'd like to get a few podiums across the championships I do enter in, but generally just be competitive. Try not to be the last car in the class. Try and be mid-pack at least. That's an aim, I guess, in terms of results, I can say. But what else? What other aims do I have? So let's start off with some lap times. So I think I said Brands Hatch last year, I'd like to get into a 56 with the Honda. I think I'll stick with that. Say into the 56 would be really, really big for me. I think I did a high 57 last year. That was my first ever time driving that car around Brands Hatch on some tyres. So with better tyres this year, with a bit more experience, getting into the 56s, I'm hopeful, but we'll see whether that happens or not. So that's a lap time at least. Even if it's a 56.999, I guess I'll technically still count it, but no, I'd like to get at least into the 56s. I know this car's at least capable of getting into the 55s, low 55s, probably even lower than that, even into the 54s, maybe even into the 53s with a quick driver. But let's just keep ourselves realistic this year. Let's say 56 second lap at Brands Hatch, that'd be awesome. So let's speak about Combe lap times quickly as well. Now, of course, I've got a bit more experience there than any other track, which I know is a bit weird because it's nowhere near me really. It's sort of like 3-4 hours away, but still it's a track that we entered a bit at the end of last year because it was just convenient with work. And yeah, it all worked out quite well. But lap times, we got a 1:19 last year, and I don't think that's particularly good. I think you can probably get this car into the 1:16s at least, probably even lower than that once again. But I'm going to set myself a goal of a 1:17 at Combe, so that's taking 2 seconds off my fastest lap so far, which is a lot. But there's probably going to be some modifications on the car, not much, but maybe enough to help a little bit there. Also, time to find myself, definitely. I look back at my fastest lap I set last year, I could just see already, like, there's so much time to be found there. So with experience gained over this year, and hopefully a few parts, hopefully we'll get into the 17s, that'd be awesome. Hopefully lower, but we'll see. Also, a big thing that I want to do this year, it sounds stupid, is just make better videos. It's something I really annoyed about myself last year, and even this year, but I still haven't posted the last one. Just didn't put enough time into making those videos good, not just in the editing, but also in like the pre-production as well. I guess with all the COVID restrictions, it was always going to be a bit tougher, but still pretty simple on that. Make some better videos of racing. They're going to be starting soon. Got some cool access and all that sort of stuff coming, so they're not better. Only one person that can be blamed here. And I guess on that particular point, I've got some new equipment to help me with that. So I've got a really nice camera that's the main camera, but the accessories, I guess you'd call it, they weren't quite there. So we've got some nicer stuff there. Got this camera I'm filming on right now, new action cameras. I've invested a bit in here because I realise this is something I want to do personally, make better videos. I feel like I can kind of do it at work. I've got lots of great material to work with, but when you don't give yourself the material to work with, it's always hard as an editor. So let's make better videos. Got better equipment now. I'm gonna have little excuses if they're not any good. So you'll see in a few weeks' time when that first episode of my first race, which we'll see soon, goes up on the channel, and hopefully it's an improvement. Fingers crossed. feel like I've been walking uphill this whole video. Sorry if it sounds like I'm completely exhausted, kind of am. Anyway, last couple of things I want to speak about. First of which is other championships, not driving my car. So quite like to do some endurance races. Should be all signed up for that. We'll make an announcement in due course. I know it's not like a Formula 1 driver announcement or whatever, but it's cool for me to do some extra stuff, so we'll announce that soon. But a couple of different endurance races, hopefully going to be in the 750 Road Sports and also Track Day Trophy, which is quite exciting. 2 different championships there. With COVID and that sort of thing, sharing a car is something that I might need to wait a little bit longer for, just to make sure everyone's safe, get my second vaccination shot, all that sort of stuff, and then hopefully we can be good to go. But got to stay safe on that side. But endurance racing, kind of, I'm excited about. Well, I'm excited about it. I'm just not sure whether I can call it endurance racing. 45 minutes. It's a sprint for some. Okay, last thing before I just fall over from exhaustion. Have fun. Now, last year, probably just put too much pressure on myself and didn't maybe enjoy it enough. So this year, just enjoy it a bit more. Don't get so worked up. Just take everything it comes and enjoy the racing, because that's what it's there for at the end of the day. So, I'm going to say goodbye for now. First event will be soon, and last video of 2020, 2020's adventures is coming soon. Thanks guys, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.